Hello everyone, it's Anya here. So a lot of you actually ask me what it's like to work with me. Hello, how are you? So I decided to show you in this video. This video is a behind the scenes of how I coach and what it's like to go through the process that I use with my clients to move better and live pain-free. But more than that, I want this video to serve as a tool for you. I want you to walk away with a better understanding of how to treat your pain and stiffness as a solvable problem. Not something that's random or mysterious, but something that we can break down scientifically, step by step, and rebuild in a way that works. So if you're stuck in pain, you're feeling stiff all the time, and you tried really everything, from the conventional methods to massages and dealing with, this little nagging pains here and there every single day, this is exactly what my coaching is about. And this video will also show you what you can expect if you decide to join. So let's get to it. So we're actually starting quite early today, 8 a.m. first call. Early, not early. I'm an early bird, so I love my morning hours. But yeah, because I work with people from all over the planet, I do AMs, I do late PMs as well, usually with a little gap, during the day, so I can do my own training. I can focus on education, I can focus on programs, and all that stuff that you'll see later in this video. But yeah, let's get started. Hello. Good morning. It's targeting just the IT band is kind of impossible, right? Because there's always, we work as a whole, right? Like isolating certain muscles, yes, maybe it is possible, but we always have to look at the whole body as a whole, right? So the pain is gone. Like, the pain that we were talking about, was it like a month ago or so?
Yeah, no, I don't get that.
Is it? But okay, that's amazing. This is a great exercise to improve. First of all, it's the dynamic thoracic rotation, right? So I always like to do it like as a warm up, just to mobilize the back a little bit. But if we're focusing on the thoracic part of the spine, we don't really want to engage the rest. So the lower body, the lumbar spine, so this bit and everything. So you see here, this is perfect, but you're moving a little bit because you're trying to really reach up towards the ceiling by opening through the hip. Imagine that there's like fire under your chest and you really, it's really painful, right? So you're trying to go away from that fire, right? But your head, there's no fire here. So your head stays kind of low. And again, I don't want you to do this, right? Your head will follow, but it will follow the thoracic back rather than head back. Does it make sense? I want you to be able to isolate the muscle, focus on the deep muscle that are really difficult to control because we can't really feel them consciously, because they're doing their own job. But we're trying to rewire certain patterns here, right? Like
trying to achieve the objective by any means.
Exactly.
And to your shoulder blades. And use that to talk.
Exactly. Just one, right? The opposite shoulder to the opposite knee. Okay, so I just finished 2 check-in calls this morning. And yeah, what I usually do after these calls, I make sure that everything is uploaded, like recording. I try to make all the updates that we just, discuss, talk about on these calls straight away. If something needs to be adjusted, if I have to send something to my clients, I try to do it straight away. So it's nice and fresh. But obviously sometimes, the maybe problems that we discussed or issues that we're currently facing, they need a little bit more of thinking time. So I usually, take all the information, maybe go for a little walk, and then I just think, I break down the problem. I try to understand the current situation a little bit better. I go back to the plan. I see what's working, what might not be working, whether we keep it as it is, maybe we change it completely, maybe we just make a few adjustments. And yeah, then I come back, readjust, re-upload, let the clients know that, for example, these are the changes, what do they think about it, etc. And yeah, that's usually what I do between my calls. Anyway, today's super busy. I have quite a few calls and I'm having a rest day today, so no gym, no workouts, but I'm going to go on a quick walk because practice what you preach. So I always try to move even, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever I have, between the calls. It's always nice to just mobilize the joints a little bit, decompress the spine and everything, and just have a little mental break as well, because that's what helps me, clear the mind a little bit and think clearer, which is necessary. Nice. Okay, done a little movement, a little walk between the calls, and I guess that's another thing to remember. Sit less, move more, walk more, whenever you can. Your body will thank you. So between the calls, you have 1 minute, 5 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is, just try to move a little bit more. See you at the next call. Okay, what I'm going to do now, because I have one new client onboarding today, so I'm going to make sure that I send them everything they need before we jump on our first onboarding call. So that is, access to my mobile app, access to all the systems, access to the feedback tools, all the explanation, and description of different things that we will use during our collaboration together, during our coaching. So yeah, just making sure that we have everything ready for the call in the next, in like 4 or 5 hours. Okay, the first few check-ins done, writing programs done, checking in other clients for later today done. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna have a little break, and I think I'm gonna do a bit of research and education, because you know how it is, you never stop learning, there's always something new to learn. And to be honest with you, I even enjoy reading research studies, papers, and some books actually. So yeah, let's get to it. So on today's agenda, we've got a study on muscle functional MRI analysis of trunk muscle recruitment during extension exercises in asymptomatic individuals. So long story short, this study talks about how we extend our back and which muscle we recruit, so which muscle we use during that extension, really matters and make a real difference in how we manage lower back pain. So here it studies dynamic trunk extension, dynamic static trunk extension, dynamic leg extension, and dynamic static leg extension. And it's really exciting and interesting, and I would say inspiring study as well, because it makes you think about, okay, you extending your back, but whether you're actually recruiting your legs, or whether you're recruiting your arms, or whether you just extending your back without the limb movement, really matters. So yeah, it just makes you think that it's not just about the exercises and choosing the right one, but also different adjustments within a certain exercise, and recruitment of different muscle groups. So especially in pain management. So really exciting. And yeah, let's get to it. Okay, I'm actually recording this after the training, but I just trained with my dad in person, which is actually not something that I do anymore. Back in the day, when I was starting with coaching and helping people get out of pain, that's the only thing I would do. I would just teach offline, because I think that's the only way to actually do it properly, and to get the experience and understand how the body works and everything. You have to work in person. Maybe it's just me, but I think you can only work online if you have that understanding and experience hands-on in person. It's necessary to actually provide very professional service with reducing the risk. Anyway, I recorded our session together, so I upload it after this one. I'm going to mute it, so maybe do like a little voiceover or something to just explain what we're doing and what we're working on. But long story short, we are working on my dad's lower back pain and some shoulder instability as well. So you'll see later in this video. So yeah, enjoy. Here, first we focus on building the basic awareness. The goal was just to help him feel and control different parts of his body again, not to really force any strength, but to just build a foundation. And once that was solid, then we added more strengthening exercises to just start challenging his deep system while still keeping good control. And yeah, that was it. Just simple awareness first, proper breathing second, and then strength and resilience build. I don't really have that much time today, so I decided to actually have my little lunch right now, and I can share with you what it is. It's like a Mexican rice, so it's pretty much everything that I had in my fridge. Chicken, of course, rice, some spices, and yeah, I'm just gonna have a little break whilst eating and then back to work. Okay, just finished another check-in call with one of my clients, and now what I need to do, I have to continue on rebuilding a little bit, making some adjustments to their plans, because everyone is, doing their job, working amazingly, seeing a lot of amazing results, but there's certain bits that we have to adjust, especially for example with the client that I had a call with, we have to focus on the hip mobility a little bit more because we lack a little bit of activation and range of movement there, and because we fixed other issues, we really focus on the foundations in the first months. So we really focus on the deep stabilizers, everything supporting the spine, the hips, pelvic floor, and everything. So yeah, now we can add extra bits, to build on that. So we're going to add a little bit of hip rotations, both external and internal, some stretches as well, a little bit more dynamic to add a bit of range of motion, and also work on pelvic stability. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. Going to add certain exercises, maybe record a few bits if necessary, but yeah, probably gonna spend the next half an hour to an hour until my next call, and yeah, that's the plan. I just finished a quick catch up with my client, and it's crazy because we actually started talking about, trying different sports and everything, and she told me how she feels more confident and happy in her body and more safe, and obviously after eliminating all the pain and stuff, that she wants to try horse riding. And I was like, no way. And I guess now it's time to shine. Look what I found. I found my old trophies from actually 2014 and 2015 when I used to compete. So yeah, it was just a nice memory, so it was funny, but yeah, just wanted to share this with you. Another quick break, quick walk today between the calls. Had I think half an hour now, so yeah, again, we move as much as we can. And trust me, I didn't want to leave this time again. Just wanted to lay on bed and just stare at the ceiling. But I know this is going to do amazing for me. So trust me on this one. And yeah, try it next time between your calls, between whatever you're doing, if you can, of course. Because I know everyone is in a different situation, different jobs and stuff. But yeah, repeating myself, but once again, move as much as you can. I have some time right now to actually do a little bit more of reading, so I just brought a few papers that I found really, really interesting, and just wanted to share something with you. I was reading this study, and it says, listen, really interesting, that up to 40% of the athlete population is affected by lower back pain, which is the most common cause of lost playing time in professional sports. Sports-induced muscle imbalance within the trunk or hip muscles seems to be related to lower back pain. And there is a considerable evidence suggesting that trunk muscle strength and endurance do not only play a key role in prevention and treatment of lower back pain, but are also related to sports performance. I just found it super interesting. Anyway, maybe it's just the little nerd, in me, because I remember back in the day, back at uni or whatever, I would read 10 papers a day, for breakfast, just around everything, about neuroscience, pharmacology and anatomy as well. So I guess it just stayed with me, But yeah, I just always want to make sure that I'm up to date with, you know, new research methods, new discoveries and everything. I think it's super important in this industry, in the health industry, and I just enjoy it as well. So it's a win-win, I guess. And because this video is about, you know, me explaining to you, describing my coaching method, everything that I do is science-backed. I always have to make sure that there is scientific proof. It's obviously my knowledge, but I sometimes, you know, double check some things, you know, make sure there isn't like a new discovery, maybe like a better way of approaching certain issues, certain pains, certain inefficiencies, you know. So I always try to make sure that it is based in science. Also, something that I forgot to mention, in my coaching, everyone can send me private messages, you know, so we usually do it on WhatsApp or my mobile app, but, you know, any quick questions, you know, something very urgent, if a client doesn't understand something, if they want to send a update, a voice note or a video or something to us, like literally anything that is quite urgent, I always, you know, have my phone on me during the day and try to respond as quick as I can. So yeah, just another thing to mention. Okay, I forgot to record this bit, but it is pretty late now, but I'm just finishing off some video feedback. So basically how it works, my clients always send me videos as they work out, as they execute certain exercises, also with some text feedback, and then I pretty much record my screen. I assess the form, I assess the execution, analyze it, give them tips, cues and everything so they can actually progress and focus on the right things. So yeah, the last bit for today.